Standing Operating Procedure, SOP. Speaking of SOP, we always did things by the book in the Army. Always by the numbers and by the book. When we were on maneuvers in Louisiana with the horses, our old first sergeant, who didn't go overseas with us because he was a little too old, but he was a good old guy, Sergeant Stewart. He was in charge, and boy, he ran that battery. He ran the battery. The men, they paid attention to him. They did what he said. So when we get through with the day's operation with the horses, particularly when we were on that march I was telling you about, we stopped for the night, and before we could do anything to ourselves, we took care of the horses. We had to groom them, water them, feed them, put them on the picket line. Then we could worry about what we were going to do with ourselves. So one of the procedures after we take them to water first. We'd groom them first, brush them down real good. Take them down to water, and there was no smoking, no talking, no nothing. You just stand there. Just, like the old expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, so sometimes they wouldn't, but you just stand there. Nobody would say a word. Now, well, first sergeant's in charge. I'm back up trying to think about what it is. Then the next thing you do after they got through water, and they pick up, and just before they put them on the picket line, with some hay down at the bottom, so they could, hooked up to the picket line through the harness, was a procedure that they would feed them oats, and they'd have an oat bag, and the oat bag would hang over the horse's head, and then that way the horse could just eat the oat right out of the bag, with the bag hanging over his head. Well, they did that by commands, by the numbers, and the old first sergeant would say, they called them nose bags, but they were full of oats. Nose bags and stand to horse. Well, everybody put the nose bags over the horse and stood by the horse. Then, they wouldn't put they'd stand there with holding the nose bag in the horse. Nose bags and stand to horse. Feet out. Then you'd put that was the next command, was feet out. They'd put the nose bag over the horse's head, and he'd start eating. Well, here's the way the old first sergeant did it. Nose bags and stand to horse. Don't feed out till I say feed out. Feed out. Just let. I used to laugh at that. Nose bags and stand to horse. Don't feed out till I say feed out. Feed out. But he had command. He was the boss. Oh, and that's when I learned to smoke. First time I ever smoked. It was on maneuvers in Louisiana. They said it helped. It helped mosquitoes. You had a mosquito net, mosquito bar, and maybe a hammock or a bunk or something. Not a bunk, it had a bunk. But we'd get inside and light up a cigarette and smoke. That helped with the mosquitoes. That's where I started.
Did you smoke throughout the war?
Oh yeah, they were free. Cigarettes were free. Yeah, man. Sure. In fact, I smoked lots because several people didn't smoke, so you'd get lots of people didn't smoke, so you get all the cigarettes you wanted. More than you need. Yeah. Smoked all during the war. Smoked after I got back until about 25 years ago. I quit. Thank goodness.
Was there a favorite cigarette during that time among the troops or yourself?
Whatever was free. Different kinds. I don't remember what brands they were. different. We'd get different brands. I don't know. Oh, and you mentioned supplies. Rations was we had either K rations or C rations, and we had a chow wagon that went with us. It was on a trailer. It was a trailer you pulled, and it had everything the cooks needed. And we had Mexican cooks. Thank goodness. Boy, they could do things with soy food. And the C rations would come in cans, and that's mainly what we'd eat in camp, as long as we were sitting. K rations, when we were on the move in the field, they were things you put little bars of stuff, keep in your backpack, and just nibble on. They were K. They were pretty bad. C rations weren't anything extra. It was all dehydrated. The dehydrated potatoes, dehydrated eggs. So you had to reconstitute them with water and cook them. But these Mexican cooks, we weren't supposed to eat anything locally grown in the Philippines, you know, because of sanitary and stuff. We just weren't, but we didn't pay attention to that. They'd go out and get these hot peppers, and they'd take those hot peppers and make those old dehydrated eggs and potatoes. It tastes pretty good. I guess they just disguised the taste with the hot pepper. But it wasn't bad. We had some kind of meat, I guess. Spam was about the only meat we ever got. It was canned. And but it was all right. It was sustainable. We ate pretty well.
So you
Everybody was in the same boat. I tell you, first thing I did when I got home and came ashore, back again to Stoneman, at whatever that town is out there, San Francisco. First thing we did after we got settled, so we went back into town, 2 or 3 of us, and we went to a cafeteria and went to the salad bar and just almost made ourselves sick eating fresh salads. We didn't have any when we were overseas. No salad. Man, that was good. Just salad. Must have stayed in there several hours eating that damn salad.